Hi folks, and welcome to TK Power Sports. Today we're looking at a pair of Waverunners next to each other. On my left, the VX Cruiser HO, and on my right, the FX Cruiser HO. Now the VX Cruiser is a recreation model, a little more basic, a little more about just having fun. The FX Cruiser is luxury, so it has all of the features. So in this one, we'll break down the differences and talk about which one is better for you. Right out of the gate, let's talk about the largest difference, and that is the size here. And yes, the FX Cruiser, the luxury model, is larger. So we're talking about roughly 8 inches longer over here on our FX, just over an inch wider and just over an inch taller than this VX Cruiser. So yes, it is just straight up a bigger machine. It's only about 50 pounds heavier, so not a ton, but yes, this blue model is heavier as well. Now when it comes to the power plant, well, they're the exact same. They're both running the brand new for 2024 1.9 liter naturally aspirated engine. So power here is the same. Output is right at 200 horsepower for both of these models, and they also get the exact same fuel tank size. So when it comes to powertrain, you're the same here. Really, the biggest difference you're going to feel in the water is the size. The other immediate difference you will notice here is the amount of storage. So on paper, the FX Cruiser has 14 extra gallons of storage, and a lot of it is up here in the nose. Now our nose storages are packed here today, but you can just see the FX has a wider, taller nose, and you can fit more into it, whereas the VX has much more of a slope nose, and the opening is just quite a bit smaller. So the majority of that extra storage, yeah, you're gonna find it up here in the nose. Now as we roll back, you'll notice on our FX Cruiser, we have cup holders over here. VX Cruiser does not get cup holders, so that's just another one of those sort of luxury features. Now behind the cup holders, we get to our main rider storage bins, and these just help you stash things like cell phones, whatever you want to bring with you. One thing you'll notice over here on the FX Cruiser, you actually get those little gears, and it is spring-loaded, that storage, so it will open itself. Over here on the VX, that thing is just loose, so you have to hold it up by yourself. Now in terms of size, it is quite deep, and I would say they're almost the exact same size. But again, that little difference in just how the top operates. And again, that's why this is a luxury model, because you're getting some of those little thoughtful touches. Now the last bit of storage is back here underneath your rear seats. We'll pop them both off. They pop off the same. But the bins here are not the same. So here's our FX Cruiser storage bin, and of course this does screw out. So our paperwork is in there. That is watertight. Pretty cool because you can take it with you if you're jumping off your machine. Over here, we also get a storage bin, except for it's triangular. I don't know, maybe slightly smaller. Yeah, definitely a bit smaller over here on the VX, but still, I love these storage bins. I think it's so smart to have some storage that you can pop out of there, take with you, and then when you're done, you throw it back there underneath your seat. And yeah, storage, again, goes along with the size story. Luxury means more storage, and that's what you're getting here on the FX. Alrighty, folks, now we're out here riding on this VX Cruiser, and I've been out here for a couple of days now with both this and the FX Cruiser, so I have a really good feel for both of them. First of all, the engine, it's the exact same now. It's still this 1.9 liter HO, so you don't feel a massive difference in power. This unit, the VX Cruiser, is lighter, not by a lot, only about 50 pounds like I mentioned, but thanks to that, and then thanks to, you know, it being slightly shorter, slightly narrower, it does feel a hair quicker than the FX Cruiser, but it's not really a massive difference out here in the water. So yes, power out here on the lake feels comparable. And the one thing I said about the 1.9, I'll say again, It's so responsive. Even I'm cruising at speed right now. If you just lay into it, oh, you're just gone. And then getting up out of the water, there's no lag whatsoever. So I do appreciate that about this new engine. But that's not where you're gonna feel the difference. Where you're gonna feel the difference is just in the size of these two machines. So first of all, this seat is a little skinnier between my legs. It's not super skinny, but you do notice the difference. It doesn't have kind of the big, comfy couch feel that the FX Cruiser has. And then just the width overall, I think, is the biggest difference you feel in the water. The fact that we have a narrower beam here on the VX Cruiser means that when I put it into a corner, it likes to lean over more, and that lean allows the hull to really do its job, dig into the water, and stick you in the corner. Now, this is still not a performance machine like the GP 1800, so it doesn't pull those crazy G's, but when I just do a little something like this, it absolutely feels more responsive, more flickable is a really good word, than the FX Cruiser. And in the middle of that corner, this machine is just sticking a little bit harder into the water. So if the more fun ride, more aggressive ride, if that suits you, if that's what you're looking for, the VX will deliver that a little bit better. On the flip side of that though, it's gonna be a little bit worse for your passengers. A, because the seat's not as big, it's not as long, but then B, because it leans over more, it's just not quite as stable. Now at speed, you don't really notice the stability, but at slow speeds and at docking, especially getting on and off, yeah, this won't be quite as stable as that larger machine, and you do notice it when you get out here. Now in terms of features, a lot of the drive features are the same. I have a cruise control, which I have on both units. I have no wake mode, which I have on both units. TDE docking mode, I'll show you that in a little bit. We have that on both units too. One of the big things that's missing here on the VX Cruiser is I don't have a trim button or an adjustable trim here on my handlebars. So with the FX, I can dial in the trim anytime I want it. You can't do that here on the VX. This also doesn't have drive modes. It has what they call acceleration control. So you can limit the top speed and you can tell it to accelerate fast or slow, but it doesn't have the same comfort, economy, those drive modes as the larger FX. And then finally, I have a little screen up here. It's a nice looking LCD screen, crystal clear, but it's not nearly as big. So yeah, sure, I prefer the bigger screen too. It's nice to have, more space to deliver you more information. Now I should just cover the basic operation because it's the same on both of these models as well. And I do think the Waverunner, of the three big players in PWCs, might have the best controls on it. So your left throttle over here or on your left handlebar, you grab this lever and you're going in reverse. Grab the right, you're going in forward. And then when you're on the move, these units do have brakes. If you grab reverse while you're moving at speed, it will slow you down pretty aggressively. You can see me do a full brake right here. And I should always say, you should never count on your brakes on the water. Most boats don't have brakes, they never have. So yes, you should not be driving like you need the brake, but hey, in an emergency situation, it could come in handy. So I like to see that here. And again, that's become industry standard from all of the big PWC manufacturers. By now, I'm sure you are wondering, well, what's the top speed difference? Well, let me go do a top speed run and we'll compare on both of these units. Now it's time for the drag race, folks. FX Cruiser in performance mode versus VX Cruiser on go. 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, you got me. And that's it, you're off the line quicker, and then top speed is almost the exact same. I think, again, I was gaining on you just the smallest bit, but it's basically identical. Yeah, 99.
My whole shot was better, that's it.
Yeah, you got out of the water better.
That's what it was.
Now we're here at
docking speed, and there's a couple things I want to talk about and compare on these two models. This first one is just stability, because it is important how it feels, you know, getting on and off, and I know a lot of people are concerned with that. So I will show you here on the VX Cruiser. I can stand over in one of the footwells. Now, I did this exact same thing in the FX Cruiser, and it was the exact same. I'm a little closer to taking on water here, maybe, but actually both these models are substantial enough that, yeah, I can't actually take on water here by myself. Now, just standing here and doing this, I can tell you that the VX does feel a little tippier. It does feel like it wants to roll over a lot quicker than the FX does. So yes, when you're getting on from a dock, you're gonna feel this one is not quite as stable as that larger FX Cruiser, but it is not a massive difference. Now, the other thing I wanna mention is these are both 3-up models, so they're both rated for a driver and 2 passengers, and they both have a max weight rating of 530 pounds. So this is one of those regulatory things. You have to have the weight rating on that sticker, but both these units are the same. Now, that doesn't tell the story though, because in the real world, again, that FX Cruiser is just gonna feel a little bit more stable, especially at slow speeds. Now, the next thing I want to test is my boarding step on the back. So we get out here a little bit further. That's good enough. Make sure to peel my microphone off. And yeah, let's go give her a test. So once again, for science. Come back. So climbing up on the VX Cruiser, the first thing I notice is the step. It doesn't have a bar that goes all the way across. There's just sort of 2 pads on the outer corners, but it does come down quite low. So grab the handle, put a knee up, step up onto it, and there you go. That was basically just as easy as on the larger unit, although I did take on a bit of water here that I didn't over there on the FX Cruiser. But still, for getting up out of the water, both of these steps are quite good. Now let me show you Yamaha's docking mode. So they call it TDE forward or TDE reversed. So right now I'm in TDE forward, and you're gonna see very slow, smooth progress forward. That word smooth is key. A lot of times when you're coming into a dock, you have a tendency to blip the throttle a little bit too hard. And I'm gonna make this even harder on myself right now and try and spin the whole unit around too. So we go hard, bring the bow around. Now I'm gonna go TDE reverse, bring the stern around, back into TDE forward because I blew it. But it's okay, even if you do blow it, that's kind of the key here, is it's so slow, so smooth, there's no stress involved. I managed to turn around, but I'm way too far from the dock, and that's fine. So bring it forward, now neutral, now in reverse, and I can bring the stern in nice and close, and then swing the bow in, and then back to forward to slow me back down. And hello. So yeah, I think that TDE mode, and of course it's here on both of these units, it works the exact same. I think it's the best in the industry when it comes to that slow speed docking maneuverability. Let's look at the display difference now. So here on the VX Cruiser, it is a much smaller screen, but still not bad. And it does deliver all your relevant information, your speedometer, your tachometer, your fuel, and your acceleration. Now we can go over, we'll start in settings. I do like even this unit has the pin settings, so you can go in and set a pin here so that the Waverunner will not start unless you know the pin. You can change the language. The wellness is always cool. That will track your maintenance, so you can see exactly how long it has been. I appreciate that. Now here's all your trip and fuel economy information. Currently running 2 kilometers per liter on average. There's your home again. This is your drive control. So if you go in here to speed acceleration, you can set your accel and your overall top speed. Not quite as many cool modes as what you have on the FX Cruiser, but still nice to have some control. And then as I mentioned, here is your pin lock mode. One of the big things that this unit is missing as compared to the other one is GPS for both the speed and for navigation. And sure, the bigger screen does look a little bit better, but this screen still delivers plenty of good info. By now you're asking, well, what is the price difference? Because that is definitely going to influence which one of these you buy. And it's not a massive gap. Right here, the 2024 VX Cruiser HO, you're talking about $20,999, so 21 grand here in Canada. Over there on the FX Cruiser, you're talking about just a little bit over $24,000. So there is a $3,000 difference between these two units. Well, folks, we have come to the end of this one. Now, no, this was not a direct comparison. I realize these are two different segments, but if you walk in the dealership and you have no clue what you want, well, I think this really helps you to kind of get a sense for what you're going to get out of each of these two models. Now, if you spring for the FX Cruiser, which frankly I don't think is that much more expensive for what you're getting, yeah, you're going to get all the luxury and all the features. If you go for the VX Cruiser, you're going to save a couple bucks and you're going to get a more thrilling ride. Now, if you're going to ask me, I actually kind of lean towards the FX because I do like having all the features and I like that big comfy couch of a seat. Plus this thing's exciting enough. But you know what? That's just my opinion. Now, of course, I want to hear from you. So drop into the comments right now. Let me know which one of these two units you would buy. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of TK Power Sports, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing next.